What is really useful to know about retargeting before you even get started? First, you need an existing audience. Forget about doing retargeting if you don't have an existing audience. That means either on your website or on Facebook or on YouTube or on any integrated website solution like Udemy with Google Analytics set up. I've already got an existing audience there, which I could use even if I didn't have a website. So anywhere you've got an existing audience, you can do retargeting. However, you can't do retargeting without having an existing audience. That is a key feature of retargeting. Second, retargeting success will vary greatly across platforms. What may work excellent on Facebook may not work at all on AdWords or AdRoll or on YouTube. The only way to know for sure is to try out the different platforms for yourself. Remarketing is very tricky sometimes in terms of getting good results. For example, on AdRoll, the burnout that happens often is very fast. The smaller audience you have, often the first time I show ads on AdRoll, I can get really good results, and then I get almost nothing. So retargeting is really frustrating if you don't, at a minimum, have at least a list size of 10,000 people. And that could be an email list you've plugged into Facebook to create a custom audience. It could be a customer list. It could be 10,000 visits to your website in Google AdWords, 10,000 people who viewed your channel on YouTube. There's all kinds of remarketing audiences you can have. But if they're not at least 10,000 people, it's going to be really frustrating, usually because the time and effort you put into doing the ads usually will not provide any kind of return compared to what you actually get out of it. If you have a smaller audience for retargeting, it's just too much time and effort to work with the ads to get a good ad solution up to make it worthwhile. I know there's a lot of excitement about retargeting, and what you should know is that most of that retargeting excitement is for big established brands. For example, Udemy, their retargeting ads are all over the place, and I often get sales out of their ads. Their remarketing ads are really good for them because they don't care which product they sell. Same thing with Amazon. They put their remarketing ads everywhere because they don't care what they sell. They have a gigantic brand with a gigantic budget. They can afford to just brute force do remarketing. If you do not have a very specific product to sell, if you just are trying to get people to come back to your website, remarketing can be frustrating because you might get higher cost per clicks, you might get lower impressions, you might put a lot of work into the ads only to get worse results than you do just getting first impressions. So remarketing is very exciting and offers awesome opportunities. That said, it also has some serious limitations that you want to know about getting started. The audience size is the biggest limitation, and if you don't have something to sell, that's another big limitation in terms of making the ads profitable. If you're just trying to get awareness of who you are, you often can use pay-per-click ads just fine to do that. If you're trying to really build a relationship with people, remarketing ads can help a lot. However, if you're trying to build a relationship and you don't have a product to sell, there's a lot better ways to do it than using remarketing ads. For example, if you have a YouTube channel that's just for fun and not profitable, or that's not making any money and you don't have anything to sell, doing remarketing ads probably does not make a whole lot of sense unless you've got a lot of audience and you can afford to. It's much better to just try and build your subscriber base and to try and stick straight to a free model. Same thing with Google organic traffic and Facebook. If you are just trying to build the size of a page, remarketing ads probably aren't that useful for you. You could just get likes a lot easier than that. Same with web traffic. You're just trying to get web traffic for things like Google AdSense or something. You might as well just use whatever cheap traffic you can get in Google. Remarketing might not make that much sense. So remarketing can be awesome, but at the same time, if you know this up front about it, if you know these limitations I've given you, you can avoid the places where remarketing is a big waste of time. So thank you for sharing this with me, and I hope looking at the ups and downs of remarketing before you even get started learning it is helpful for you.